They thought they were on a secure call, speaking with their CEO. But minutes later, 35 million was gone. The person who gave the order never existed. Just a voice, cloned by artificial intelligence. This is the true story of one of the most sophisticated scams in history, and why it's only the beginning. In 2020, an executive at a major bank in the United Arab Emirates answered a phone call. On the line was the director of a trusted client company, someone they'd worked with for years. His voice was familiar, calm, confident. He explained the company was finalizing an urgent acquisition. They needed the bank's help to move $35 million fast. The banker didn't hesitate. This wasn't unusual. The voice was unmistakable. Minutes later, the bank received another call, this time from a lawyer. Contracts were emailed. Everything looked official. Names matched. Company details matched. Even digital signatures checked out. The money was approved and transferred. $35 million gone. At first, nothing felt wrong. But a few days later, questions started to surface. The acquisition, no public record. The company didn't exist. The lawyer disappeared. And the executive who gave the instruction? He had no idea any of it had even happened, because he never made the call. The voice that convinced the bank to move $35 million wasn't his. It was a voice deepfake, an AI-generated clone, built from scratch in his likeness using just minutes of publicly available audio. And it was so real that even the people closest to him couldn't tell the difference. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't science fiction. This was one of the first successful AI-enabled heists in history, and it worked perfectly. No hacking, no physical intrusion, no malware, just a voice. A fake voice delivered with complete confidence. How did it happen? Using voice cloning software, some of which is available to the public, scammers pulled audio of the executive from interviews, webinars, social posts, anywhere they could find him speaking. They fed those samples into an AI model that replicated his pitch, tone, rhythm, pauses, even the subtle quirks that made his voice feel real. Then they used that model to generate entirely new dialogue, make sentences he never said, instructions he never gave, all in his exact voice. And the result? Convincing enough to bypass security, legal verification, and financial protocols. But here's the part that should concern all of us. This wasn't an isolated case. In Hong Kong, a worker transferred $25 million to fraudsters after attending a full Zoom call, where every participant was a deepfake. Faces, voices all AI-generated. In another case, a US senator received phone calls from himself. And in the UK, scammers cloned a CEO's voice to approve a major transaction, almost pulling it off before detection. Voice cloning is no longer a novelty. It's a weapon. And anyone with a voice, anyone with a digital footprint, is a potential target. So what happens now? What happens when anyone can sound like anyone? When the only thing protecting your bank account, your business, or your loved ones is a voice that can now be faked in minutes? We're entering an age where reality can be manufactured, where audio proof means nothing, where even your own voice could be used against you. Imagine receiving a phone call from your child asking for help, and it's not them. Or your boss giving urgent instructions, but they never called. The consequences go far beyond money. They touch everything we trust. Most countries don't yet have laws around AI impersonation. There are no clear criminal frameworks, and voice authentication, once considered secure, is now outdated. We've built a digital world on the assumption that identity is tied to sound, but sound is now programmable. You don't need advanced tools. You don't need deep knowledge of AI. You just need a few seconds of someone's voice and the right software. In some cases, 3 seconds is all it takes to build a usable voice clone. Think about that. Every podcast, every Instagram video, every TikTok, all of it is fuel for identity theft on a level we've never faced before. The 35 million that vanished in 2020, it was never recovered. No one was arrested. Because there was no breach, no virus, no traceable signature. The crime was invisible. This should terrify us, not because of what happened, but because of what's coming. This technology is improving every week. Clones are sounding more real. Inflections, emotions, accents, nearly perfect. Soon they'll be indistinguishable from live conversation. And when that happens, when you can no longer trust your ears, how do you know what's real? We used to be warned. Be careful what you type online. Now we need to be careful what we say. Because our voices, once personal, once protected, are now tools. Tools that anyone can duplicate and weaponize. And when your voice gets used against you, it doesn't just steal your words, it steals your identity. Even if you prove it wasn't you, it might be too late. And the damage, that's already done. Your job, your credibility, your finances, your freedom, all vulnerable to something that never even had a face. This was the $35 million voice that never existed. But make no mistake, this won't be the last. If we don't act now, if we don't demand regulation, ethical boundaries, and strict verification systems, the next time this happens, it could hit even closer to home. Because deepfakes don't need access, they just need a moment. Just a simple sound, a short sentence. That's all they need to clone your voice perfectly. We are stepping into a world where the truth isn't what you hear, it's what you can prove. Where trust must be rebuilt on verification, and where voices, even the ones you love, may be nothing more than illusion. This was the first major AI voice scam. But what happens when the voice doesn't just sound like you? It acts like you, thinks like you, and even answers like you, leaving no room for doubt.